Welcome to another episode of Minneapolis by Night Vampire Venue. This is going to be a meeting between Myrcella and Julian. Take it away.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that I'm catching him before we actually leave this other meeting.
Okay.
We're just at. She's gonna. Have you been back to the compound yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, it's being watched,
Awesome.
like all the other places. However, my old place isn't.
Okay.
So that's where I've been hanging out.
Okay.
Despite it being empty, just for the sake of privacy. They're on pretty high alert at the compound right now.
Makes sense.
Also, have a lead on Marcus.
Okay.
Don't think we might. We may want to discuss that elsewhere.
Okay.
And she will make the suggestion of going back to the place that isn't the not Giovanni compound, as she's calling it.
Okay.
Yeah. So before she has that conversation, they need to go back there.
Okay. Alright. You guys head to the not Giovanni compound.
Right. I'm sure Lorenzo is just having a blast at this meeting, too.
Oh yeah, for a minute.
Yeah, I can tell he probably looks like he's dying of excitement.
Oh yeah.
Just like the rest of us. Okay.
And he damn sure wasn't going to say anything, but the way everything was going, he was like, I ain't saying a word.
So back at the compound, she is basically going to give Julian the lowdown on Marcus, aka his body shipped to me in a giant wooden box shaped like a coffin to the compound.
Nice. Subtle.
Oh no, she gets to the note.
Oh, even more subtle.
And then, yeah, well, I went to go give his wife the bad news, and that's where things got worse.
Yep, I was waiting to hear that.
They were disemboweled and strung up.
Nice.
Got in. So yeah, that's all the quote-unquote good news.
Well,
in regards to that.
From now on, you are not to give me any good news.
She's even lifting her fingers up in the quotes, like, good. Sarcasm.
Alright, so it's craziness, and, we're being watched. Awesome.
Yeah. So, I'm starting to get the feeling that you know more than you're saying on all of this.
I've had my suspicions for a while about certain people.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything there, but what suspicions do you have with whom?
Well, as they already pointed out, one of the main ones was Andreas.
Yeah.
He was doing some unique deals that is not really his forte.
Like?
Certain purchases.
Okay.
Like I said, just things that don't make sense for him. Even as a Tordor.
Like, what was he buying that didn't make any sense? I want to make sure we're on the same page here, that's all.
Pharmaceutical companies. Or at least putting money into them.
That is kind of weird.
See, that's why I thought it was a little strange.
Okay. Okay.
Not something you expect to hear a toiler by.
No. No.
Well, at least not him. I would have understood if it was Miss Winters, but because she's a model and all. But yeah, not him.
Okay. Okay.
Because specifically his businesses tend to be more clubs, business, and
But
record companies.
yeah, no, that definitely doesn't make any sense.
I mean, he could have just been, trying to expand his empire, so to speak, but I don't know. And then when I did some research, a pharmaceutical company kind of has a questionable rep.
What's the name of it?
Megadon.
Mm. Okay. Well, here's something that I haven't told anyone. I'm telling you because, well, I trust you. Myself and one of the others did some looking around last night.
Mm-hmm.
Directly the trail for Gareth.
Okay.
And she writes down the address of the place. This is the place that we found.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean that he's currently present there, but it does mean that this is where he goes when he's here.
Gotcha.
So we at least have a heads up there. So what the hell? Where have you been?
Well, after the explosion at the Rose and all the chaos that ensued with all the mortals and everything, kind of went into hiding for a little bit to try and figure out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, well, half of your people are freaking the hell out. And that's putting it mildly.
Well, I talked them better than that. I don't know why
Well,
they're freaking.
I managed to get them calmed down, but I'm sure the package arrival didn't help.
Yeah, probably not.
But outside, there is a cop car and a black SUV at the compound.
Awesome.
I have my pets keeping watch.
Okay.
There's a new one that you should probably be aware of. It's a bat.
Great.
It's flying around.
Yeah, bats I'm not so worried about.
Well,
Any more of Victoria's creations, and we might have to have a discussion.
no. This is just a bat. Nothing weird.
Okay.
I had something else. Hell. I forgot what else it was. Shit.
As soon as we stop the scene and
like always.
leave, you'll be like, "Oh crap! Now I remember."
Right. The. Ponder. Oh yeah. Apparently, they've been like this company that's watching everybody. This Black Wolf?
Mm-hmm.
They're using some kind of fun, specialized bullets.
Okay.
They have tracking devices in them, and they are designed to dig into the bone. and
Ouch.
latch on.
Okay, that sounds horribly painful.
Yeah, sure it is. But we found that at on top. We found the casings for some of these particular types on top of a roof in one of the buildings that were burned, the church, and then I actually pulled one of the bullets out of Lorenzo.
Ouch.
Yeah,
I'm being immortal, that had to hurt a lot.
I'm sure it did. And he's still hurting. He's still hurting with it now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it could be a while before he fully heals.
Any advice in trying to deal with the shifters? Because
A very, very unique bunch.
I mean, this is the deal that I've laid forth with them. Is Lorenzo directly around?
No.
No, okay. Well,
As soon as you
basically,
guys got to the not Giovanni compound.
right? He's like, get me away from the vampires,
He basically went up to his not Giovanni room.
right? Not Giovanni room. Okay. Well, Lorenzo's managed to find a few places where the shifters hang out. Uh, one of them happens to be a nature preserve. I laid down an offer that if they'll help us in whatever ways that they can, that I will throw down the funds to try to help them make it their own, fully private.
Okay. Well, I'll back that. When dealing with shifters, the problem is A, they don't like us much to begin with. B, if we're not, how to put this as tactfully as possible, if we're not more in touch with our human side, they tend to pick up on that and not like it so much.
Okay.
It is a good idea to use a proxy, aka Lorenzo, mainly because I doubt they'll deal with you. Because not only are you a kindred, you're a kindred who deals in necromancy. So they got a lot of reason to hate you.
Okay.
You know, unfortunately, being a Giovanni, that's how it goes.
All right. Well, he has been talking to them and at least passed that along.
That's good.
So hopefully we can get something going there. But
He looks at you. Just ask the question you wanted to ask me in there, but you didn't want to because there are too many people around. He just looks at you.
oh God. In there, it was, what do you know? That was what it was. Because you said that he looks like he knows more than he's letting on, or that he's keeping something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you keeping?
Lucind gave me her word that she could call off the pursuit of Lorenzo.
How?
I don't know. Her words, trust me,
Turn for?
they will leave him alone. In exchange for us assisting
In this?
Mhm.
Alright.
She said, in a sense, Lorenzo would be a free man.
Oh, I think that's fair enough.
No. Hence why I offered full support.
That makes even more sense.
Like I said, I'm not sure how she's going to do it, nor do I really care if she can actually get it done, and something tells me she can. Gonna
I
go
have
for
to
it.
agree with you. Um, let's see. Anything else that you need to be aware of? She basically just wants to bring him up on everything, but I think she's done that.
Oh, and you can blame Andreas for the destruction of the rose.
Why does that not surprise me?
He called some of us there, me and a few others, me and a few other independents, in supposed talks of an alliance to assist with removing the threat. We all got there. He had us meet him in the office. He said he had to step out for a minute. And a few moments later, big kabloomy.
So how in the hell did you get out?
Sheer fucking luck.
I'd say so.
I will definitely confirm it was sheer fucking luck. I happened to go to grab a drink from the bar when I saw something a little fishy, and I didn't have enough time to say anything before the whole place went up.
Okay. Who all was there that didn't come out?
I haven't fully checked, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see. It was a Setite head. Who else was there? There weren't any Assamites.
What? There was an Assamite?
There wasn't an Assamite.
No Assamite, okay.
That I'm aware of. I don't know.
Right. So for sure a Setite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember. There were a couple others there. There were some caitiffs there. I remember that because I thought that was weird.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if they got out. I have no idea who got out, who didn't.
Alright.
I mean, I knew the caitiffs were in the city. You know, they didn't really give anybody any issues, so nobody cared.
No, I mean, if they're not giving anybody issues, why would they?
Yeah. So yeah, that didn't go well. So.
No, I can't say it did. I saw the explosion, so.
Yeah. That was part of it. Kind of sucked.
Like I said, I can't imagine that was fun by any means. Hell.
If you want to directly talk to the shifters, I recommend. If I recall correctly, I don't know if there are any here, but the werecats or the birds are your best option.
Birds or cats?
Specifically, ravens. I believe they call themselves the Korax. If I remember my knowledge correctly.
Okay, that'll be handy.
The werecats, just like the werewolves, they have a bunch of different tribes, I think they're called, within their ranks.
Okay.
But most of them, they're a little more easygoing. Actually, they have more reason to hate the werewolves than anybody. But I'm not exactly saying that they're gonna like you anymore, but they're more likely to hear you out.
All right.
Um, the birds, from what I've heard and from what I can gather, they're basically gossip queens. So talking to
Goody.
them would be yeah.
Well,
But those are the two
we
groups
know
that
who
I
not to
know
tell
would be.
secrets.
Yeah, that's the catch.
Unless you want them to be known.
Yeah, that's why you have to be careful with the birds because they're a little chatty, and the cats kind of the same way. Um, I'm not sure exactly how it works in the whole shifter society, but I'm pretty sure the cats, at least for their secrets, they'll keep. But I'm not sure about anybody else's.
Got it. Got it.
Again, I'm only going on half-assed information that we have. We don't have full knowledge of the group, or the other, or full knowledge of the werewolves or any of the shifters. It's just partial here, partial there, blah blah.
Something to go on is better than nothing,
Yeah, I mean, but that's
especially in regards to them and their
yeah, but that's
tempers.
yeah. I mean, the werewolves are going to be a lot harder to talk to, mainly because they just don't want to deal with us. Um, I think it's something about they say we're close to their what they see as their enemy.
Right. Well, I mean, they
Um,
may not have much of a choice if this goes the way it could.
I mean, as long as you're willing to meet on their terms, they're a little easier about it. But honestly, I say if you can, make it neutral ground.
Okay.
And don't be surprised if they show up with 6 or 7 of them. They don't trust us.
Well, I certainly wouldn't go by myself either.
No, I hope not. Cats you might be able to talk to one-on-one. The birds, more than likely, you just got to find them. I don't know how to locate any of them.
Hmm.
Oh, now I get it. Okay.
Huh. Now, come to think of it, there was a raven hopping around on top of the roof like it wanted us to look up there the other day.
Well, ravens are pretty smart. I mean, just as a bird itself, they're usually pretty smart
Right.
creatures. Um, it could have been a Corax,
Hard to
but
say, I can't
you,
tell one way or the other, but
yeah, that's the problem. You really can't. I do know the Corax tend to be a little bigger than their cousins. Um,
okay.
but to someone who doesn't know a lot about them, probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say one way or another. It was just interesting that the birds popped up after that.
Hmm, it's not so unlikely. Maybe the one who was up there had some. I don't know.
Repeat that because he broke up.
He goes, maybe the one that was up there had some kind of connection to the bird, or just, maybe the bird, thought he was suspicious.
Maybe,
Who knows?
maybe, but it was helpful. Showed us the
Can't argue
bullet
that then.
casings that the cops missed, apparently.
No, I know some slacking cops.
Yeah, especially when a cop gets killed.
You think they'd be a little more paying attention to that?
Fail.
Yep. Epic fail on the part of the police. Oh well.
Score for us. Okay. Let's see. Shifters. Bullet. Marcus. Now, here's a curiosity. You said that prior to this is just random, I know, but hear me out. Myrcella got booted from his position for selling some of us out to the Sabbat.
Mm-hmm.
You think any of them in these numbers could be some of them?
And the higher-ups took it over, and they handled it. That's all I know.
No, oh no, yeah. I know that. I'm saying like any of the Sabbat that we're gonna have to deal with, you think they might be any of his. They were coming from here, you know.
Quite
It's a
possible.
possibility.
Yeah. Can't say one way or the other because I'm not sure, but it is quite possible.
Okay. And actually, that would any of those names in that folder actually have popped up in those regards?
No.
No. Okay.
Of course, Julian didn't look at the folder. So.
Right, but I did.
Yeah. None of the names sound familiar.
Right. Okay.
Specifically, actually. Got a pen and paper ready?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm going to need to... Give it a sec while it opens. Gareth, you know. Carlisle, you already know, but he's dead. Zachariah, Zechariah.
Okay. This is Misi, right?
Yeah. Ripper, which is the cute guy with the face. Creepy guy, thing around his head, giant chain in his hand.
Okay.
That would be Ripper. There's Norman Todd.
Okay.
Dorian. And Lucretia.
Okay.
Those are the Sabbat names within the city. At least the ones that they have right now. I'm actually going to add a few more later. But...
Okay, those are the ones that they actually have.
There are a couple more but I don't have a list for them. Those are just the ones that John has. I'm going to add some more on my own.
Okay. Awesome. I think I'm trying to make sure there's nothing else I need to tell Julian about what he's going to walk into if he goes back to the compound. I don't think I missed anything.
No, a lot of relief.
Right. Right. No, I think I've given him everything he's missed that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else either, so I think you're good.
Right. Well, I'm sure they'll be happy to have you back if going back is your plan. I know I'm happy to have you back.
Well, if we're being watched, and you say there's no way to communicate with them, fuck.
Not there, no.
Fuck.
I
might have a way to get a message to him.
But this is
Let me guess, he didn't tell
nobody.
you. Anthony didn't tell you the secondary way out, did he?
No.
Yeah, I purposely, before we ever moved here, we ensured that the compound we were going to have has at least another way out. Specifically, I've added a few more since then. There's about 6 ways out of that place, all underground.
Useful.
I'm
sure Lorenzo wished we would have known about that. Oh,
Yeah, well,
boy.
I'm surprised Anthony didn't tell you. I might have slipped his mind if he is freaking out, as you say. Probably explain.
Very well may have. He's definitely trying to keep it cool, but...
Yeah, well, he's always more the thug, not the thinker. So.
Right. So you might be able to get something into them that way, because if there's an exit, there's an entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works both ways as long as you have the right codes.
Correct.
So I may have to try and sneak in there or get word to him somehow. Tell him to basically leave a skeleton crew at the house to make it look like it's busy, and then relocate everybody. We do have another compound that we didn't put on the books. It's under someone else's name, but it's ours.
Gotcha.
Hopefully they don't know about that one. I don't know how much information they have on any of us.
Well, I've noticed that the places on the outskirts of town they're leaving alone, like this one, for example.
Hmm. Well, that's good, because our other compound is on the outskirts of town, so that means it left it alone. It's on the other side of town, but it's on.
Well, we could always take a look to be sure.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That way, I'm not sending them there to find out. Hey, look, you're back in the same position you were a moment ago.
Right? Well, we can do that now, or we can do it later, but, I say the, sooner we have eyes off us, the better.
Yeah, probably a good idea to get it done now.
Yeah. Well. Might as well do this then.
All right, you guys go. He shows you the location. It's with some slight alterations. It's almost an exact copy of the original Giovanni compound.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, there are some differences to make it apart, but it's got the same basic structure.
Right.
This one's set up the same way the other one is. You got entrances in and out.
We're looking for, people watching. That's what I'm looking for. Anyone that might be watching, or things that, well, I wouldn't know what was there before, so the only thing I would think of as odd is people watching. Or strange
But yeah,
vehicles.
there's nothing that you can see. I'm actually going to have him roll his perception.
You want me to do this too?
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I figure you both are going to look to make sure, no cameras or anything, since you know specifically cameras. He's just looking generically all around.
Right.
Holy shit! Holy crap!
Well, I hope I do good as Julian.
That'd be 7 successes out of 8 dice. Yeah. He sees colors.
I see nothing. Good. I'm glad that Julian all the things I see don't see.
Julian makes up
is
for
all
it.
Myrcella just, is looking around like.
He goes, it looks clear. Alright.
Right.
At least enough for now. We'll deal with it. If something comes up later, we'll deal with it. But for now, it looks clear, so I'm going to have to get the word out to him.
Right. Goody. Alright, well, unless there's something else that needs to be done, or...
I mean, you guys get back to the not Giovanni compound.
Right. And this will give him the ability to try to do his thing.
Yeah.
Get his message through and do what he needs to do. Like I said, him and some people are welcome to be here too. So whatever works.
Alright. Well, with that, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more.